5:02. Now that we have a quorum, we will call the meeting of the Board of Sewer Commissioners to order. The Zoom chat will not be monitored. Participants who wish to speak must raise the hand icon until the chair asks them to unmute. Note, this meeting is being televised, streamed, or recorded by Bourne TV. If anyone in the audience is recording or videotaping, they need to acknowledge such at this time. Jamie is... Yeah. Yep.
Jamie.
If anyone from the public wishes to access the meeting, they can do so by calling the following conference line: 1-929-205-6099. Zoom meeting ID 884-3036-431. Password sewer. All items within the agenda are subject to deliberation and votes by the Board of Sewer Commissioners. Moment of silence to recognize our troops and public safety personnel. All right, the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. I do not see anyone here for public comment. Is that okay? No? No, it's on the paper. Great, okay. We have somebody that will take over the vision and the mission this evening.
Vision. Bourne is a proud community that embraces change while respecting the rich heritage of the town and its villages. It is a municipality based on strong fiscal government with a durable economy that recognizes the rights of all citizens, respects the environment, especially the coastal areas of the community and the amenities that it affords. Bourne embraces excellent education and offers the citizens a healthy, active lifestyle.
All right, mission, anyone?
Read it. Bourne will maximize opportunities for social and economic development while retaining an attractive, sustainable, and secure coastline and environment for the enjoyment of residents and visitors. Through responsible and professional leadership and in partnership with others, Bourne will strive to improve the quality of life for all residents living and working in the larger community.
Okay. All right, well, we're here this evening to discuss the Hideaway Village Low Pressure System Upgrades Project. There was some actions that had come about regarding the bid we put out and some of the ARPA funding and all of that, so I'm gonna leave it to you as I'm passing it to Matt.
Yep.
All right.
All right, so as you are aware, we bid the Hideaway Village project on December 4th. The bids came in significantly higher than we had anticipated. Our main objective was to have a base bid that encompassed 3 pumps, and we had $378,000 in ARPA funding to do that project. The base bids for the 3 pumps came in at $587,252, which was much more than we had to do all 3 pumps. We've worked through some of the dollar figures and some of reductions we can make in the scope, and we believe we can do pumps 2 and 3 for $377,383. That would be removing all of pump station 1 and 2 of the hatches and the access hatches for pumps 2 and 3, which can be easily eliminated from the project. Excuse me, and it'll still give us a complete pump project with wiring pumps, electrical SCADA controls, or minimal SCADA controls. So it still gives us the upgrades we need. We're just not going to receive the hatches in those 2 pumps. There was also internal discussions about whether or not the board may want to add a capital project to the Springtown meeting to fund pump station 1 and also those hatches. So we did put a dollar amount in there, or just an estimated dollar amount. If that's something that the board was entertaining, we could look farther into that and add that project.
Okay. So I guess I'll pass it around for our select board. Anyone who has concerns, who wants to go first?
For the hatches.
Yes, I was gonna, thank you. I was gonna say that, is it the covers, that's the lid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
So there are covers on there that seal and close. We were just going to upgrade them to a more modern hatch that had assisting to bring it up and newer locking systems, but
Yeah, I
we won't,
see.
there will be no damage to the pumps, the new pumps, if we don't replace the hatches right away.
I see, okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Peter, anything?
Yeah, I'm good.
No?
Yeah, so I just want to kind of review the history of this ARPA funding, which has gone through some iterations since we started, and we thought we could get a lot done with the ARPA funds. So when we started, we thought we would be able to do all the grinder pumps at Taylor's Point as well as the pumps at Hideaway Village.
Yes.
And then the prices for the consulting and the design came in high, so we went with just Hideaway Village to try to bring down the scope of the project. And then, I think in September, when we looked at this, I mean, the pumps were supposed to be about 25,000. I mean, it was just really, really different. So, what's really concerning me now is we have a situation where, under the original agreement back in 1990, Hideaway Village is supposed to maintain their infrastructure themselves. And so, back in 2015, 2016, we did an agreement, a 5-year agreement with them, and we would reimburse them up to $30,000 a year so that they could do some of the repairs, because they pay, I mean, 266 users is over 20% of the system, I think. But they only use like 5% of the sewer. They're only using 5% capacity, so they're way paying more than what they're using. So, you know, back in 2020, the sewer commissioners decided not to renew that agreement. And there was some discussion in 2022 with town council about what the agreements were, what we could do, what we might be able to do. So I think we're in a situation now that there are certain properties in town, and I'm not sure if we're holding on to this, because I think Wayho's on that list of properties, and I think that pump station,
That is public.
that's public station, so it's just their own other things, okay. So, you have a lot of properties that are supposed to maintain their own on-site equipment as part of the system, Hideaway Village being one of them. So, it seemed like a good idea when we started this whole thing to do some work at Hideaway and get it done. And I still think that the project, the ARPA funds, going ahead, doing the 2 pump stations with the ARPA funds so we can commit the funds and use that ARPA money and not lose it. I think that's a good move. I have concerns about a capital project for the other pump station. I think we need to talk about it. I think we need to talk about what is Hideaway supposed to be maintaining and what are we maintaining? What are we gonna do about the grinder pumps? Are we gonna pay for them and then have people replace them themselves? What's our policy? And what are these people really being definitive about what these people are supposed to pay for? So, I think the plan of doing 2 pump stations, and one of my questions is, so Beta had a contract for $152,000, which included contract administration and inspections for $71,000. If they're not doing all the work that we propose doing, are they still gonna get paid $71,000, or is it paid for based on their hours or what work they do? How does that work in that contract?
It'll be paid per hour. We'll monitor what they do. We won't pay for inspections of pumps that aren't completed. No.
Well, that's kind of where I'm going. Is there any flexibility if there ends up being money available from less contract administration to be able to do the hatches? Or is it a totally separate thing and you can't mix and match? And if you don't know the answer.
I think I would be worried till the end of the.
Yeah.
And I think we could have that discussion at the end when we see.
Yeah, is there flexibility with that, though, if there's money, is it all part of the same, it's not really part of the same project, so.
They're separate contracts.
Okay.
So I have to sign a contract with Beta, and I have to sign a contract with the
Ardent Group.
Ardent Group. So there's not necessarily I can't necessarily promise that I can move the money
Yeah,
across
I
those
can see it would be
contracts.
different contracts, and it would be different, so that's fine, anyway. So,
Go ahead. Yeah, please.
I do think it is important for the board to talk about that if your decision is to move forward with pumps 2 and 3 and invest that ARPA money in these upgrades for 2 and 3, at the end of the project, you have to take those as public. So we can't, and we were able to spend ARPA money on WAHO because it was already taken as public. Taylor's Point is already public, the big one, the big
Okay.
station, is already public. So and I agree, there is a lot of policy discussion for you to kind of work out, but by committing the public money at the end of the project, we have to commit to going and asking town meeting to take those as part of the public system.
okay, that's good to know, I wasn't aware of that was part of what we were doing here.
So then if we don't pursue the remainder, the reduction piece in a capital, who's responsible?
Right. Well, how would we, yeah, we'd have to.
Hideaway.
Hideaway.
Right, so we're recommending that you spend the public money on these 2 pumps, because that's what we have the budget for.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, they will be upgraded, they'll be brought up to standards, we'll take them, and then the town will maintain them
Right.
going forward. They will become public. If you don't upgrade the infrastructure, we do not recommend that you take it.
Right.
We don't recommend that you take it as is.
Right.
And then the discussion, kind of for the board to have, the ongoing discussion is, if you, in the future, if you use additional public money from retained earnings from the system, then at that point, whatever other investments you make, those would become public. And that's the hard part, because in order to, right now, we only have ARPA to do 2. We obviously thought this was we did not know we had no idea this was gonna be such an expensive endeavor. So we were hoping, obviously, to do a lot more. This is what, by the time the bids were open, this is what we have the budget to do.
Yeah,
So the policy discussion is to do anything else in addition to pumps 2 and 3, you, as the sewer commissioners, would have to use retained earnings. So essentially money that's been reserved and set aside from the existing ratepayers to upgrade these facilities and then take the assets as public.
okay.
Does that help, MJ? So, I mean, what's our discussion now as far as what do we do next? So we're here to just make sure, we wanted to have this conversation because we had to allot this ARPA funds by 31st, correct? So do we have a vote or anything we need here?
So I don't, if everybody's comfortable moving forward with the scope reduction that Matt described, pump stations 2 and 3 without the hatches, moving forward with that, that is, then we would ask you for a motion to that effect. I don't want to imply that there is time pressure on you. The ARPA money, if your policy decision is you're not comfortable moving forward tonight, we can use that ARPA money to offset capital that is that is currently budgeted through free cash and then just not spend the free cash. So I don't want you to feel time pressure. I think it's more important that you make a policy decision that you're comfortable with. We want to, I mean, it's been a long-standing conversation that this has been a goal to do these pump stations for the equity reasons MJ has described with Hideaway. So if your policy discussion or mindset hasn't changed, then we would be looking for a vote to move forward with the reduction in scope for 2 and 3.
Go ahead, Peter.
So with that in mind, I'll make a motion that we reduce the scope of the Hideaway Village grinder pump station. The reductions shall include eliminating grinder pump station 1 for Thompson Drive in the amount of $183,834. The PVC electrical duct per linear foot PS1 at $9,025, and remove access passes for PS2 and 3 in the amount of $13,000. Total reduction amounts to $209,859.
Have a second?
A second.
All right.
Was that $187,800?
$34.
Yeah.
We have a motion from Peter, a second from MJ. Any further discussion? All right, I guess I'll go around. Anne Marie?
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, do we have to
Julie?
do roll call?
Do I have to do one? No, I
Yeah.
don't
No,
have
you
to.
We're all
I
here.
just say
All in
aye,
favor?
yeah.
Aye.
I like the roll call. I'm getting used to that. I've been doing that. Yeah. All right. So, all in favor? Aye. Yes. All okay. Ayes have it. Moving forward. All right.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion.
No, well, no, I don't want to,
Oh.
I want to say that we need to have further discussion, and I don't know when we're going to do it or how we're going to do it, but I think we have to have a discussion with Hideaway that we are putting over $500,000 into their system, and that may be the limit of what the town can do, and they have to start planning. If my recollection is correct, the pump station 1 is probably has been replaced before.
They have the newest pumps in Pump Station 1.
That's the newest one, so they have some time to kind of,
Plan out.
to
yeah.
plan and figure, and,
How many total are there? 6?
9 in the whole system.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, at some point, charity's got to start at home. You can only do so much, and we've been helping them a lot over the years. So, if they need to start budgeting out to take over a little bit, I think they've done pretty well, but by us, in the town giving back to them over the years, and that, and granted, 20% of the customers using 5% of the use. I know they use less, but at the same time, I wish we had that kind of options for everybody, and we don't.
yeah.
But definitely having someone talk to them to let them know what it is. And the town's been pretty reasonable about working with people, so it's not like we're cold-hearted, but it is,
I would say, I'm sorry, I would say there is a lot of conversation.
okay, that's good. So there's no surprises.
I met with them today prior to,
Yeah.
at least with the management department.
Okay.
Thank you, Matt, for all that.
Can
Always
I
putting
just-
that together thoroughly. Go ahead,
Can I
MJ.
add one more thing? So, we did have some discussion with Brian Bertram about possible ways that we could have some sort of grant program for, that would allow some of their grinder pump replacements and some of the other stuff to be done. And I don't know what he had in mind, but we kind of dropped the conversation because we were doing all this ARPA work. But I think we need to have a plan, and we also need to have an understanding about, an equity. If we're requiring these people to maintain the sewer, the equipment on site, and that's what they do, then we have to have an equitable arrangement so that we, as a board, understand what that is, and that you, as a department head, understand what it is. So, just future conversation on policy.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right.
Second.
Second. Motion second. Further discussion? None? All right. We're adjourned. Thank you. I saved.